Be sure to subscribe for more content. What is up, ladies and gents? Welcome to the BigBC Finance Channel, and I hope you're having a very lovely day today. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about none other than Dogecoin, what has happened to it recently, and we're going to be talking about how high I think Dogecoin can go. I'm going to be giving you some price levels and some chart patterns I'm looking out for in order to confirm or refute that Dogecoin can continue to go up, and I'm going to be giving you some trades I'm looking to make, so be sure to stay tuned for all of that. And of course, if you appreciate the daily analysis on this channel, then be sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Now, without further ado, let's get our annotations back on from yesterday and what we are seeing here on Dogecoin. So of course, first thing is first, let's just talk about what I said yesterday here on Dogecoin, and everything is quite nicely color coded. So basically what we've kept our eye on throughout yesterday is this chart pattern that formed here in yellow, this kind of bullish trend line that we had going up in orange here, and this volume increase. Now before we talk about all these indicators and patterns, we're just going to talk about the Dogecoin price and why it has pumped the way it has. So since making this video yesterday, we were in this triangle, we were consolidating. So this was a confirmed period of consolidation, and we did see some sort of breakout. We saw a retest of this resistance line. So a retest is when the price goes up, comes back down to test it, so bounces off it and comes back up once again. And we saw a pump here of 30% on Dogecoin, taking the price from 12-ish cents all the way to its local high now since April or so at 15.8 cents, and just short of 16 cents here on Dogecoin, which is absolutely insane. And of course, the reason for this, if we go onto Twitter, is because of this man. This man has just done it once again. And if we just scroll down through his Halloween pictures, we got this one here of his dog Floki and a pumpkin with the Twitter label on it. Of course, just to top it off, we see a winky emoji, very cryptic, very nice, and of course it got a lot of interactions. Everyone posting in the comments how Dogecoin pumped after he tweeted this. So really good to see. Of course, we know that Elon Musk tweets about his dog are always going to pump the price, but really it's obviously very welcomed here because it's pushed the price of Dogecoin higher and it's put some renewed attention into Dogecoin. So if we just have a look at everything we talked about yesterday and all those indicators that told me that we were still going to go higher on Dogecoin, basically, and if we have a look at all the indicators and trend lines that told us that we're going to still be going higher in a very bullish direction on Dogecoin, then, and of course, with that renewed attention to Dogecoin, we could definitely see the prices going higher. And we have all the indicators that we talked about yesterday, all the trend lines drawn on here. So let's talk about that. So let's talk about each one and whether they're still showing bullish signs. So of course, the first one we have here is this bullish trend line that we got going up, a very steep bullish trend line that should typically not last very long because, you know, in investing, when a price pumps so hard, we should see people start to take profits and we should see such a bullish trend line broken within a short amount of time. But obviously, momentum for Dogecoin is still going up in a very steep direction. There's still a lot more buyers coming into Dogecoin. The intention for Dogecoin is very high. And at the moment, I do believe there's no signs of it slowing down. And one of the reasons is because this trend line is not yet broken. The price is still above this bullish trend line here on Dogecoin. And of course, like I said in my previous videos, as long as we stay above this orange line here, if the price were to break down, then we could start seeing a more bullish trend. But as long as we stay above this bullish trend line here, even if we do come down a little bit and we kind of chill around here, as long as we are above this orange support that we have here on Dogecoin, then I am very bullish still. Another reason is this 50-hour moving average. So of course, 50-hour moving average is the line here in dark green, and as you can see from it, it's been a nice support for the price. So with this 50-hour moving average, you can kind of treat it as some sort of dynamic support. We can treat it like this orange trend line here that kind of adjusts to the price. And as long as the price stays above that 50-hour moving average, then we can say that we've still got a lot of upwards bullish momentum. Now, I've shown you in my previous video that the price came down to touch it twice in this region, and you can see that although the price has slipped slightly below it, it's been very well held up in general by this 50-hour moving average in this region. There's 3-4 times the price has literally come down to test this line, slightly come underneath it, and then shot straight back up above the 50-hour moving average. And this shows me that this is a very well respected moving average, and as long as the price stays above this, then we're definitely still going in a bullish direction with good momentum. So so far we got a bullish trend line that the price is still staying above, which is a very good sign. We've got this 50-hour movage that the price is still respecting, which is another very bullish sign. And thirdly, and probably most importantly, is this volume down here. So of course, yesterday I drew this trend line saying that we kind of need the volume to reach this trend line here if we are going to be still bullish, because of course this volume tells us that there's buyers still coming in. Of course, if we start to see the volume declining over a long period of time, so we're not seeing, and of course, if we see the volume start to decline day after day in a pattern that looks like this, for example, if it just starts declining instead of following this trend line upwards, then that would be a very bearish sign. It tells me that there's less new buyers coming in, Dogecoin is getting less attention, and people and sellers who are taking profits on their Dogecoin trades are going to start pushing the price down further without any upwards momentum to push prices higher. So of course, I want to continue to see the volume, this trend line on volume respected. And at the moment, we see that pump after the tweet from Elon Musk successfully did that. We saw the volume reach this trend line and poke slightly above it, which is very, very bullish. It means that the volume is still on the increase if we have a look at this linear trend line. Of course, this parabolic one that we saw here right at the start of Dogecoin is no longer respected, but that's not an issue because, of course, if something's parabolic, then it's only a matter of time before it's broken. But as long as we follow this linear bullish trend line on the volume, so the volume continues to, the volume's peaks continue to increase. Of course, the volume can go like this in the future, but as long as we see the peaks continuing to touch this trend line up here, then that for me is still bullish. And of course, so I still believe we can get to this 17 to 18 cents region. Of course, what we saw yesterday was this triangle indeed play out, this area of consolidation and the subsequent breakout to a price target that was dictated by the triangle, which should have been the first test of support and resistance, which was this distance here. And of course, as you can see from where the breakout occurred, the price basically got there just short of 16 cents, so just short of that price target, but nonetheless we basically got to the price target there, and that is a good instructive lesson as to why we look out for these consolidation periods, because you know they give us quite a clear price target. They're not 100% perfect, but quite a lot of the times they will tell us where the price should go to upon a breakout. And of course, it could break out to the upside, it could break out to the downside. So we don't know which direction that breakout is, but it gives us a clear defined price target. And of course, if you did manage to trade that, that would have been an extra 30% for you. So congratulations if you did manage to catch the triangle upon this breakout here. And of course, what we're going to do is continue looking for these consolidation patterns. Now, we've seen this pump take us to nearly 16 cents. And of course, we saw this higher 16 cents and this subsequent drop off in price, which is to be expected, guys. There's nothing unusual about that. Of course, we just completed this chart pattern here, this triangle. So traders are probably taking profits in this region, and that's why the prices are coming back down. Of course, also people probably bought in the speculation that that picture of Elon Musk's dog on his Twitter would push prices higher. So there's probably a combination here, and this price drop is not bearish whatsoever in my opinion as of yet, because of course, like I say, we're still above this 50-hour moving average, we're still above this bullish trend line in orange, and the volume the peaks on the volume are still increasing. And on top of everything as well, if I show you Google Trends, let me just refresh Dogecoin. So worldwide Google Trends for Dogecoin in the past 7 days, we can see that the interest peaked up once again after Elon Musk posted that photo. So of course, photo goes up on Twitter and we see that renewed interest that I was talking about. Not quite as much as over here. So, you know, if we did technical analysis on this, we could actually draw a trend line on the Google Trends where the peaks are getting lower and lower on the search interest for Dogecoin. So to me, I'm still a little bit iffy about that. Of course, well, that is to be expected. The most of the search interest is going to come when at the very beginning, but it's good to see that we're still above a level that we were just a day or two ago on Dogecoin. And now, of course, if we do drop that down to these levels, then that's when I'm going to start looking at the charts, and I'm going to really see how Dogecoin reacts if it does touch its 50-hour moving average. And if it does start to cross below all these bullish signs for us, then that's when I'm going to start changing my stance here on Dogecoin. But right now, just from a technical standpoint, I'm still bullish on Dogecoin. Of course, you know, another Elon Musk tweet or something that Elon Musk. And could the prices of Dogecoin go higher than 18 cents right here, right now? Then if we zoom out on the 1-day chart, if we are able to pass that, then I would expect another price level at around this region here. So that would take us to around 20.8 to 21 cents here on Dogecoin. Now, of course, I do think we could potentially... Now, of course, to get to that 21 cents region, what I'd really be looking for is a favorable market condition. So what I mean by that is we want to see Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies head a lot higher. And of course, that is possible if this interest rate decision that comes out on November the 2nd is really good. So if we get an increase of, say, 50 basis points instead of 75 on November the 2nd, and all of a sudden the stock market decides to pump massively, then we should see a bullish bias here in cryptocurrencies as well. Because as you know, cryptocurrencies and stocks have been fairly correlated as of late, particularly in these economic conditions where interest rates are rising. And of course, if we see higher stocks, if we see a less than expected interest rate hike, then we should see stocks and cryptocurrencies fly. Now that will add a bullish bias onto Dogecoin, and it should make it easier for it to pump in the upwards direction. So, if we do get to our intended price target of 17 to 18 cents, and we still adhere to all these bullish signals that I'm seeing. So when I say bullish signals, increased volume down here, we're still above this bullish orange trend line that we've got here, and we're still above these moving averages, so this 50-hour moving average that we have, and the price has got to our price target and continues to go higher, then I still think we could see 21 cents on the card. Now, of course, from here, that would mean a pump of around 50% on Dogecoin. So there's still quite a long way to go if we do get a perfect storm. And when I say a perfect storm, we continue to get added interest onto Dogecoin. So Elon Musk tweets something, Elon Musk announces that Twitter is going to be using Dogecoin for something, for example, favorable market conditions. So we see a massive pump in stocks or cryptocurrencies just based on the macroeconomic conditions. And then that's when I can see prices going to 21 cents. But if we don't see that, then I think the ultimate price target would be around 17 to 18 cents. And of course, if that were the case, then we would see a pump of around 20 to 30%. So we still got that, which is still a nice gain on Dogecoin if you are buying now. Of course, if you are buying now, then just be aware that you've also got a downside risk of 57 or so percent. Of course, I'm not saying it will go down there, but to me, that is the ultimate risk, a full retracement on Dogecoin. If something bad were to happen, if people start losing interest in Dogecoin, for example, then, that's a potential 57% drop. So just from a risk to reward standpoint, I'm not going to be buying Dogecoin at these levels because, for a 20 to 30% gain and a 57% risk, it's just not favorable. And of course, even if we don't go down to these bottom levels, we just go to this resistance here, for example. So this is our long-term resistance on Dogecoin that's been in play for a year and a half. If we do retrace all the way down to there, for example, which is still 8 cents on Dogecoin, still 33% above where it was down here, that would still be a 41% loss. So 20 to 30% gain, 40% loss, just not worth the risk to reward if you are looking to hold. But if you're trading, then that's something completely different. So finally, I just want to talk about what I think we could be seeing in terms of chart patterns. And of course, my prediction is that we'll probably see a chart pattern that starts to consolidate in something like this. Of course, we've seen that pump with that Elon Musk tweet, and I do think we could see the price bounce in like this. Of course, this is not perfect. This is just a complete prediction because we don't have that much price data at the moment. This is the 15-minute chart. But if we start seeing the price bounce, then I'm going to be looking for a triangle formation once again. Of course, it doesn't have to be this triangle that I've just drawn. Maybe we see the price go a little bit further down and then start coming up. And then in that case, I would have to adjust the triangle. But right now, I'm looking for some sort of consolidation period. Now, of course, consolidation period should see a decrease in volume, so declining volume as the price were bouncing in a channel between a support and resistance. And of course, I'll be looking for a subsequent breakout. So that breakout could be to the upside or the downside. Of course, I will update my trading view if I do see a triangle that looks reliable and I see a subsequent breakout. And of course, I will post that on my trading view. So be sure to follow me on there. The link is in the description below. But otherwise, that's really all I'm seeing here on Dogecoin. We just had this massive pump, and I believe we're going to be consolidating in some sort of fashion. And of course, if we do consolidate, that will give us a chart pattern that we can trade from, and I will post on my trading view, like I say. But the summary of everything is Dogecoin is still looking very, very good. Volume is increasing down here. We're still way above this 50-hour moving average and this bullish trend line that we've got. And we are close-ish to our price target of 17 to 18 cents. And I do believe the prices can go higher if we get a perfect storm of good news. So Elon Musk announces something big with Dogecoin. We see macroeconomic conditions improve, such as that lower interest rate hike as opposed to the one that's predicted, that 75 basis points one. And if we see stocks and crypto starting to pump as well. So that's really what I'm looking out for here on Dogecoin. I'm not buying Dogecoin at the moment to hold for a long term. I'm just looking to make certain trades on Dogecoin when the opportunity arises. And of course, I explain why I'm not buying it is because the risk to reward to me is not good enough at the moment. Of course, I've given you the downside scenario and I've given you the upside scenario, and I don't think that ratio is good enough for a buy at the moment. But I'm excited nonetheless to see how high Dogecoin can go. And I'm still very, very bullish here. So that's all I wanted to say in this video. Hopefully this is very helpful for you. And if so, do hit that like button for me. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Do let me know in the comments down below whether you're bullish or bearish on Dogecoin. And otherwise, I'll see you in my next video.